in the last week, I know it was because of my PMS thing, but it was definitely, a bit of a dip, and it kind of completely changed my state of mind. That particular day was very difficult for me and for people close to me.
Hmm.
So I actually wanted to find out if there is a solution for such thing. I know that this is because of the changes in my body, but I don't know how to kind of, ensure that it doesn't impact me so much. I tend to ensure that I analyze my to-do list and
Okay.
ensure that anything which can be kind of which can take the back seat, I kind of omit that, so that can at least gives me a physical rest.
So you
And
prioritize, right?
yeah,
So you prioritize so you don't feel so overwhelmed.
yeah,
Okay. What else have you tried up till now?
I think no, that is all I've tried for now.
That is all you've tried. So was that preparation sufficient when the hit the ceiling, as they call it?
Not really.
Not really. So when you say that it wasn't the way you wanted it to be, you don't have to give me details, but then more or less what happens?
I get into a very aggressive mood, aggressive plus helpless.
Mhm.
And so it's like, every small thing hits you so hard. My daughter not picking up her toy on time.
Hmm.
But usually I'm patient, and but on these days I'm like, okay, why? It's like as if I become that Hitler mom who wants to get everything in control.
Hmm.
And then what happens is I get into a guilt mode because if I shout at her and I'm like, okay, why
So does
spoken
this
to her?
happen with everybody around you or only with your daughter?
I would say my daughter and my husband. So with my husband, it's a cribbing mode. It's like
Hmm.
uh, it's more of a complainful mode. Uh,
Complaining about him,
Complaining about, yes, him, and he knows.
which is we can call it criticism.
Yeah,
That you don't do this, you don't take care of me. Why is this way? Why can't you understand? That kind of a thing.
yes, correct.
Hmm. And how does that work for you?
It doesn't work. I mean, fortunately, he understands that I am into that mode, so he doesn't react, and he knows that after 2 days I'll be back to normal.
So what
He,
are,
he
what is the objective of this criticism? Why are you doing it? What are you expecting him to do after he has heard your?
I would say I expect him to take actions.
So
It's
I'm
like
asking about on a day like this when you get critical or when you are feeling you're expecting what do you want him to do?
I want him to help me with my daily chores.
So what does that do to you when he doesn't do these simple things that you're asking him to do?
I would overanalyze, and I feel he is someone who doesn't care. He is more self-centered,
So you said
and
you tend to overanalyze, which tells me that you do that at that time, but later on when you think about it, you feel that you overreacted over something that he's not actually like that.
yes, percentage-wise, I would say 60% is justified, 40% is overanalysis.
Hmm.
But when I analyze this overanalyzed situation, I feel that there is a need to communicate in a different way, because I feel whenever it is very direct communication to him, either it's like, hitting his ego or whatever. But if it is more polite, more, can you please, etc., etc.,
Hmm.
then there are more
And you
chances to
don't
get
do
that.
that on those days. On those
Correct.
days, you tend to get aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you think about it, on the days when you don't really need his help, you're more polite and nice, so you get more or less your job done. And on the days you really need his help, those are the days you do it exactly in the way he doesn't understand. As a result,
Correct.
not getting any help and feeling even more overwhelmed than you already are.
Yes.
So, what is your objective during that time? Is it just to vent out or is it to actually get support?
50% I'm venting out, 50% I really need support.
Let's take venting out as a strategy, right? What does
Hmm.
it give you? when you kind of get into that mode or criticize or do whatever, I know the tone because I've done it. Okay, so everybody's done it at some point, right? So when you get into that mode of doing it, how does that help you?
It helps me to feel okay, now I have nothing else to talk. I have said it all.
So
The
if he
close
doesn't do
relationship.
what you ask him to do, what does that mean to you? That makes you angry, right? When he does
Yeah,
do these simple things and he's not seeing these things that he can just care, show little gestures of love and care, and then he doesn't do them. That makes you angry, right?
correct.
When he does not
I
help you.
feel I feel helpless because I feel I tend to get into this cycle, and I feel that when I know that this person is not going to help me, why am I relying on it? So I
So
should,
this is a cycle of helplessness, frustration, expectation, guilt,
yes. So
and
I feel that, when I know, then I should be either more prepared or
so you're
or
basically beating
be-
yourself up a little bit more at that point in time.
correct, correct.
That why am I even reacting like this? So you react, and then you don't get what you want, and then you react on top of the reaction that why did I react?
Yes,
And
yes.
that just
And I'm
makes
like, why do I expect? And
okay.
sometimes I feel like,
Let us shift the questions from why to what. Okay. Now think that let us assume that you're in a situation where you're on a day where you wake up knowing that you are not all right.
hmm,
Okay. And you are very clearly wearing a board on your head for yourself and for others to see that
all right.
I'm not okay. I am not okay today. And with the very clear understanding that you're not even expected to be okay that day.
Hmm,
An acceptance that you are not okay. Not a question that why. That is the irrelevant question over here. Why? Because you have hormones. Why? Because it happens to every woman on earth. Why? Because some things are not, physical things are not in our control. That is why. Established, done. So once you forgive yourself for being a human being and a woman and having these things, and the why is answered, so you clearly are not okay. Both done. Once you know that you are not okay, what can you see? Once you go into that loop, it's like getting into this a hamster wheel. You've seen this
hmm.
rat gets into a wheel and it keeps running and running and running and running. It's a hamster wheel, right? So the moment that there is this hamster wheel going on that day. So you jump on that wheel every time you have a period, you kind of, your energy level goes down. And even the smallest might trigger an internal feeling, might trigger that feeling of irritation because you've been doing it for a long time. Or just watching a sight like your daughter's bed not being made might trigger that sight. Or your husband just sitting and enjoying his cup of coffee and, in his own world, having a good time and you're feeling so bad, might trigger that. Anything can trigger it, right? So the moment it triggers, you jump on the hamster wheel. The moment you jump on the hamster wheel, expectations not met, feeling of expectations not met, helplessness, frustration, anger on top of that, then questioning yourself and guilt. So you keep hopping back and you're like running on that hamster wheel till you're like completely zapped to think anymore. It sucked all your energy, everything is gone, and then you kind of fall off the hamster wheel with
True.
no energy. This is the description of what happens. Correct? The best of men sometimes cannot see certain things. They are built a little differently, right? So you have a label and you have acknowledged I am not okay. Okay, what would be the dumbest thing to do that day?
The dumbest thing I would say is again expect from him that
To,
he'll help
to
me.
jump on that
We,
hamster wheel. That would be the dumbest thing to do. Whether that to jump on that hamster wheel means that you are expressing yourself, or you're doing it to vent out, or you're making it to get your needs met, or you are better off that hamster wheel than on that hamster wheel under any circumstance. Because when you're sitting on your chair with a cup of tea off that hamster wheel, maybe you are not spinning so fast and you're calm and you can get your needs met. Is your husband such a bad guy that if you tell him calmly that, listen, I'm really not okay, can you please just help me make that bed? Is he such a horrible person that he will not help you? He might not do it in that instant. He might say, okay, I'll do it in some time, which might be a trigger. But you need to ensure that you're not
Going on the wheel,
jumping on the
getting on the
hamster
wheel.
wheel. Your objective will be to stay off. What other space feels safe to you than the hamster wheel? Hamster wheel is the usual thing, something you're used to doing, but it's not given you what you want. It is never going to give you what you want because that's not how he understands. It's only you are tiring yourself and you're falling off that wheel end of the day. It's not doing anything to anybody. If you really want to give yourself what you deserve, you need to create another space for yourself on that day. So what can that space be? What can you call it? Or it can be a space in your house, it can be a metaphor, it can be anything.
If I have to give a metaphor, I'll say I'll be in the mountains. And if I have to give a space in my home, uh, then I would say it will be my balcony.
So how about whenever you're in your balcony, you tell yourself that I am in the mountains. I am today I have come to the Himalayas. I am I am on a vacation and today I am gifting myself just a break where I don't have any expectations of myself. I don't push myself saying this is the only day I get to meet my relationship needs and all that. No, no expectations from myself, from anybody. Today I'm bindas, I'm chill. Today I'm going to just pamper myself and behave like a spoilt brat. And I will strategically make everybody jump on my fingertips by speaking nicely and just asking them what I want. And if they say no, I'm still in the Himalayas. So I'm in the best possible place so nobody can disturb me. How do you think that's going to work out? If and when this time it happens, you wake up in the morning, first thing, you remind yourself that you have to go to the Himalayas.
Himalayas.
Right? And you go to your balcony, do whatever rituals you need to do, and you need to remind yourself. And every time you're about to jump on the hamster wheel or you feel a temptation to jump, remember that if you do jump, also, you have a choice to jump out. Get it? If you do jump in, which is human, might happen. Okay, if you do at some point lose control and do jump in, you can jump off by reminding yourself what you really want. What do you really want on a day like this?
Peace and
Peace,
freedom.
right? Peace, and take that peace to pampering.
Mm.
Not just peace, give that day an objective. The objective of that 1 or 2 days will be to pamper yourself, to love yourself, to just kind of give yourself that space to heck with everybody else and their mistakes and their problems and their behavioral issues. It belongs in their life. You have no concern. You are in the Himalayas on those 2 days. Let the bed be dirty. Let things not be done on time. Does not matter to you. You are in the Himalayas. Right?
Yeah,
So
I think giving objective on those days will definitely help.
will
Anything
definitely
that
help because right now you don't have an objective. So you tend to, in the past, you just tended to go do the same thing over and over again. If it met your needs, it was a different thing, but it isn't, right?
no, it will.
You need to be calm and you need to get all the maximum mileage and pampering as you can on those days. Let's
And
give
the
a
good
round
thing is
of
that
applause.
I can plan, so well
Yes,
ahead.
yes, you can. I'm sure a lot of women gained a lot out of this conversation.
Thank you so much. It was really
Awesome.
lovely.